Hello, today's walk is the second of 3 walks in the Fannic mountain range, and it includes 3 Munros that make up the Central Fannichs: Sgùrr na Sgùrr na Geala, and Meall a. Today's walk is 18 kilometres with 1,111 metres of ascent. It is expected to take around 7 hours. This is a long high ridge and a low valley walk. I chose to do the valley first, partly due to the weather. The long walk in allowed the summit of Sgùrr na Geala to clear of heavy cloud by the time I got there, and I also prefer to come off a mountain close to the end of the walk if possible. There are a couple of considerations when selecting which direction you want to walk the ridge. Navigation is easier heading south, and you have the option to do the Western Fannichs after you complete the ridge if you're feeling fit. Heading north along the ridge is generally easy to navigate. There is no scrambling. If you keep away from the edge of the east face of Sgùrr na Geala, there is no real exposure. The only difficulty in poor weather would be the descent off Meall a, as there is no clear path and few landmarks to follow. In saying that, if you head west from the summit of Meall a and stick to that bearing, you'll soon find a path that goes up through the valley. Parking is free. There are no height restrictions, and you can fit around 20 to 25 vehicles. From the car park, head southeast back along the A832 and turn down a rough gravel track that's on your right hand side. This leads you along the edge of a woodland area, which is on your left, and follow that track until you see a small path and a footbridge on the left. Cross the bridge and continue down the path leading into the woods. The path continues to head south and crosses a gravel track, and then a long footbridge at the end of the loch here. The path narrows on the opposite side of the bridge and starts to curve uphill round to your left, and eventually it joins up with this river here, and it continues along the side of the river. At the ford, there is a very small cairn in the grass here, and a slightly larger cairn on the opposite bank. If the river is in high spate, then you may need to take a boggy ATV track after crossing the bridge at the end of the loch, and then cross the footbridge here and follow the ATV track up to the other side of the ford. From the ford, follow the Stalker Path south for about 3.5 kilometres. The hill path leaves the Stalker Path here, and it's easy to miss this. Once you're on the Ascent path, it's mostly clear, if a little bit wet and soft at times. It heads east and then southeast across and up the mountainside. Eventually you will make it to the Geala. Turn right and then head south, and follow the ridge as it ascends up to the right and then curves round to the left to reach the summit. From the summit of Sgùrr na retrace your steps to the Geala heading north, and then continue to head north following a clear path that pretty much heads straight up Sgùrr na Geala, keeping the crags and the steep drop on your right hand side. As you approach the summit, there is a huge drop ahead and you need to bend round to the left and follow the path round to the summit. From here, continue north and then northeast, and you have a spectacular descent path with no real difficulties, assuming there is no snow. It curves round to this point, and this is an incredible viewpoint, and from here you will then head north and down to the left hand side of the loch-in. Continue north, bending slightly to the left, and then ascend Meall a, another easy path to a large cairn. After this point, the paths fade away, and there are few landmarks to assist your navigation. You head northwest until you reach the end of a patchy rocky section. Then head west down through this rockier section. There is a path at times. Once you get to this point, it's a fairly steep descent. You can easily zigzag across here and descend down with no real difficulty. The really steep sections can be walked around, as you'll see in the video. When you get back down to the Stalker's Path, simply retrace your steps back through the woodland and then back to the car park. Good morning, it's 8 AM again. I'm at the northeast end of the Fannichs. You can see Anchellach over there in the distance. Now looking back across the Fannichs in the parking lay-by. There's only 2 spaces left when I got here. So from the lay-by you head back down the road just a short distance, and then we'll turn down to the right. Walk along the side of that forest there. When you come to this junction here, you'll see the footpath sign. Just go down to the right. For today's walk, you can do it both clockwise or anti-clockwise. It's up along that ridge line there, all the way to the back and down through the valley. With it being cloudy at the moment, and also my preference is to do the long walk in if I can. So you cross the bridge here, over to the left, follow the track down through the woods and keep making our way all the way up through the valley, all the way to the very back, and eventually we'll turn up to the left. In a little bit this path crosses over that stream there and then splits for the descent route, and we'll keep going up the valley fairly close to the stream. We'll cross it further up and at that point I'll collect some water. This is where you cross the river. The cairn on this side is very subtle. I almost walked right by it without noticing it. There's another cairn, a bit more obvious on the opposite side. There are enough stepping stones, some are just under the surface of the water. This could be more difficult if there's a lot of excess rain. This is where the path splits, so there's a big massive boulder there as a marker point. They both go along in parallel for a very short distance to sort of overlap, and then what I'm going to use as a descent route goes up to the left. So I'm going to continue straight on at this point. Just crossing that stream further up. It's about half a kilometre now ahead on the left where we turn off to go up to the ridge, and it should be quite an easy route to navigate. One left turn and just make it up to the lowest point of the ridge ahead. Almost level with the Geala ahead. I've actually missed a turn, but it does give me a good view of the path. So the turn starts just at that rock back there. You can see somewhere on the grass down there. It makes its way up. It's a diagonal path from here, not quite to the lowest point of the Geala, it's slightly to the left of that. You can see up there, you can see the weir. So we're just heading up to that point. It's a reasonable path, a little bit soft, a little bit muddy and wet, but not terrible. There's a good stream here. Could have saved myself the extra weight and filled up at this point. It's not much further onto the Bealach up there. And a short walk to the summit. You can see Angelic over there. And the path does go up to the left of the lowest point on the ridge. It avoids that little craggy line that goes across there. Looks like we're almost at the Bealach. It's about 400 metres away and 100 metres of altitude to climb. Then another 120 or so up to the top. Made it up to the Bealach. You can see Sgùrr more from last week's video. So you turn right and it's about 800 metres distance, 100 or so metres in altitude. It's not that much more to climb. Yeah, not far away. At the summit of Sgùrr Nanyech. It has taken 2 hours and 45 minutes to get to this point. Here, you just head north, all the way along the ridgeline. There was a good path from the Bealach to this point, and I suspect you should have a good path all the way along to the third one of the day. The sun's coming out a little bit now. Looking directly into the wind, it's not as if there's a lot of blue sky coming this way. It's some seriously grey clouds. I'm going to go back along this way a little bit, get out of the wind, have something to eat and then continue up to the next one. The clouds are coming and going on the top over there. With a bit of luck, it'll be clear when I get there. Also just enjoying being out of the wind. Just found a rock here to hide behind. So just go down, follow the path. Makes its way up there. Almost level with the summit across there. Very steep face on the eastern side. It's almost clear. Not far now. At the summit of Sgùrr na Geala. There's Sgùrr Moor and that long ridge without any path. You can see Benny, but it's mostly cloud. Once again. The clouds are fair whipping across. Forecast to be about 25 mph winds with 30 mph gusts. Just going to go along to the trig point there and get a view from the end. The path continues along the ridge here, just keeping to the left hand side a little bit. And then when you see the lock-in, you can just make it out. Get a bit closer to that, you'll see the path cut across to the left. Goes by the left hand side of the lock-in there and then goes all the way sweeping along the ridge to the next top, which is just there. If you follow that ridge line down, you can make out the car park. It's a nice stroll along the ridge. It would be a very different story in the winter. You'd have to be careful about Snow covering up the gaps on the right hand side. There was a good path until about 20 metres ago, and then it just sort of disappeared. You can see people in the distance. Just want to head down to that end of that lock-in, and you can see the path on the other side. So just go straight across here. The last section of the path was quite faint, but you're aiming for this Meall. Now you can see the path clearly. Go across what is going to be a bit wetter by the looks of things, and then up the other side. At the summit of Meall. Now this is probably the best view of Geala that you'll get. At least from a distance. There are better views when you're on Geala. See right into the Fisherfield 6. I need to get around to doing those ones. From here you want to head north west. You actually want to head for the end of that loch down there. So we get a little bit further forward, we'll be able to see it better. And then it curves down to the left down the ridge. This big rock is a natural focal point and it's where the path goes. You want to keep going straight on. The only thing I'm not clear about at the moment is if we go down that ridge that you can see there on the left. I don't think so. I think we go on a bit further straight ahead towards the loch, at the very end of the loch where the woods are. Keep heading that direction. I'll check the map again. There may be more visible signs of a path further down. Yeah, this is one of the best descent walks ever. The view is amazing. I can see somebody coming up the ridge there. That is quite possibly where the path is. It would make sense to follow that natural feature. I'm aiming for the large rock at the end there. So once you get to this rockier section, you do want to bend a little bit more to the left. I don't have any clear visibility of a path yet, so I'm just going to bend around a little bit and have a look over the edge here, see if I can spot where the path is. Still no signs, so I'm going to go into the next edge over there and have a look over that one. And if I can't see anything, I'll just make my way down through this rockier stuff. It's roughly where the path is. You do pretty much just go straight ahead. You're not following the curve of the ridge here where it bends round to the left. There's a very slight bend to the left, but nothing much. So just go straight on, straight over that edge ahead. I found a path. That wasn't far away. We'll see how long we can follow this. Path faded away again. It's getting a bit more interesting. And when I say interesting, I mean steep. I'm going to go round. Yeah, that looks better. And really all you've got to do now is make your way down to the stream. At some point you'll cross the path that I walked in on this morning. I'm currently at 600 metres. The gravel track I can see down there is at 380 metres. So 220 metres to descend and then a fairly simple walk out. It's a bit steeper this section. It's not difficult. It's not slippy, the ground is good. I'm going to zigzag a little bit left and right. I can see some signs of wear just ahead down there. No clear path that I was able to follow to this point. And that's me down off the mountain onto this track. I've even come off on the path. I didn't come down the path the whole way, but from time to time I was on a bit of a track. From here, turn right and just follow this rough track back down to the path I was on this morning. And follow that back out over the bridge, around the woods and back to the car park. That's me joined back down onto the Ascent path. So continue on your right, follow this back out. this bridge, cross the bridge and then turn to your right. Back at the main road, there is space to fit about 8 vehicles. When I arrived, the gate was open and somebody had parked just over there. Don't know if they live on the estate, but you don't want to park down there just in case you get locked in. So from here, just walking and back up to the lay-by over there. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll show you more in the next one. Bye for now.